G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a TAQ, not to be confused with a THQ, which makes a big noise when you start watching a movie, you know the one. Anyways, what you're looking at here is a generically made SCAR weapon for Modern Warfare 2 2022, and they give it the TAQ name TAC, I guess, because of copyright issues or licensing problems. They don't want to get sued by FN Herstal, so we're just going to make something that's generic. It's when you want to ask for your mum for a Scar H and you've got a Scar H at home. This is it, but it looks pretty spot on as far as the generic recreation of it goes, and I think it suits the whole Call of Duty aesthetic quite well because, look, if you've got realistic looking guns and they make the sounds like they do, then it's kind of silly. So if they look a little bit off, a little bit different, the sounds, I think, suit ever so slightly better. That's subjective, though. Mileage may vary depending on what your taste of weapons are. But there's a lot of customization here. Right now, this thing is a Scar L. It's chambered in the 5.56, which is the lighter round, and there's 3 different variants of receivers here. So you'll find there's a standard, there's a heavy receiver, which changes it into a Scar H, which should change the caliber to 308, which is a close approximation of 7.62, or there's a longer barreled sniper variant, the Scar H SV from Battlefield 4. Think that, which is great. So we've got 3 different weapons in one sort of thing here. So that's where the family part comes in with the Scar H thing. So as we scroll down to the bottom, we've got Enhanced, Advanced. That's the highest damage versions we can get, and that's what we'll be using. So for the first one, we'll keep this nice and basic. We'll be using the Advanced Automatic Heavy. That's giving us just shy of 200 damage, which is very, very good. Legendary effect is there. Obviously, thanks to Legendary Crafting. As standard, that wouldn't be there, but that slot is there if you feel like using it, provided you've got the prerequisite mods. And you've also got the generically named sights. This one looks like an Aerotech, so we'll be using that. There's also some Russian ones buried down here. There's one that looks like a Cobra red dot sight, and that's a PKA, I think, holographic sight. That's Russian made. And there's also this one, which is a Russian made minimalist looking thing, but you know, as a Western weapon, you've got to have those Western sights on it, I think. So right now, we've got the standard magazine. We've thrown that in. Now it's actually chambered in 308 like normal. You can have a 10-round magazine, which will increase the damage amount despite using the same caliber of rounds. Or you can have a 35-round thing, which will increase your ammo capacity somewhat. Slower ADS time is your penalty, but getting that extra, 15 rounds out of this thing, I think is quite useful. No drum mag things here, although that would be kind of fun to see. Now, there's a bunch of ammo types, including frangible, armor-piercing, incendiary, cryo, hollow point, depleted uranium. Hollow point gets you a whole lot more damage, and there's nothing to say that it reduces your ability to penetrate enemy armor. So we're going to grab all of that extra damage, we're going to take it, and we're going to run with it. Right now I've got a standard pistol grip. You can have these generically named grips to have a little bit of extra flavor, I guess. This one kind of matches. It's got the little ergonomic grooves in the grip, so it's comfortable in your hands, I suppose. So we'll throw that one on. In terms of stats, I don't think they do much. There's no requirements that would tell you that any of these are superior over the other, so we'll move on from that. You can have a standard barrel. You can shorten that down a little bit, which will increase your range somehow, or extend that out to a 17.5-inch barrel, which I think is a nice little touch there. And we've gone back to grips because I believe that would have unlocked another attachment point for us to use. You can utilize this rail on the side to put laser sights on, which laser is visible to enemies if it's a beam. So if we can find a dot version or something, well, this one doesn't say that it's visible to enemies, so I suppose we'll use that one, ADS only. Interesting. And there's also, none of these are in tactical flashlights, I believe. No, that one's a double. That one also has a laser sight on it, which I think is nice. There's also like a tactical laser down here that, yeah, designed to get your shots on target when they really count. Does it activate when you aim down sights? Probably doesn't, but maybe there's going to be like a tactical laser sight that does that. Although I suppose that sort of defeats the purpose of a laser sight if you can only utilize it when you're aiming down sights, right? Right now I've got the standard muzzle. You can chuck on many different brakes, including a couple of suppressors, which will change the sound of this thing. The longest one here looks kind of cool. We'll throw that on. That's giving us 467 damage. There's also this one, which looks like a Russian PBS version, which makes the weapon sort of cursed because it's using a a part that is, it's an eastern part. This one's called Harbinger. Is that a typo? But it might be a reference to Mass Effect there, so there you go. Right now I've got a standard stock, and you can change it to these ones. This one looks like the classic ScarH looking stock, only with that little bit of extra material there. So I think we'll go for that one. That looks pretty nice. And I think that pretty much covers it. There's actually nothing you can do to put foregrips or underbarrel attachments on here, which kind of sucks. I know it'd be a pain in the ass to do animations depending on whether you've got a foregrip or underbarrel grenade launcher or not. More on that later, not in this video. But yeah, that's our ScarH. I'm going to create a couple other versions of these, and then we'll get started on shooting things. The easiest way to get this thing is to go into a chemistry workbench, find weapon TAQ 56, and for these resources and for gun nut rank 4, you can craft as many as you please. Nice, okay. 4, let's go 5. Yeah, we'll do that. Righto, so we're outside of the Immersive Gunners Plaza, and this is the TAQ. I'm just going to call it a SCAR because that's what it is. I hope you don't mind. But this is what it looks like in first person. As you can tell, it's got the custom reticule for that holographic, which I'm sure is what it looks like in the Call of Duty game, which I don't actually mind that for a sight. I think maybe the little semicircle underneath is a little bit much, but it's kind of like combining the combo reflex sight with an EOTech, and it works a little bit for me there. Also made a couple of other ones. This is the ScarH SV model. It's got a see-through scope looking thing that looks like that when you aim down sights. It's a see-through scope, so unless you got some sort of crazy see-through scope mod to make you go in a first person when you aim down sights, then you'll just get the generic zoom in. This one is just a plain old naked ScarH because I had to do it, you know. Could have made the barrel longer, I think, but I think that's it's like the carbine version of the weapon. This here is the Scar Owl. You can tell by the slightly smaller magazine. This one's got the armor piercing round, so it's not going to be as strong. I think they've found the bugs over there. Won't worry about that. It's got this sort of aim point reflex sight on it as well, which I think is pretty neat. And last but not least, I've made a semi-auto sniper variant version with a 35 round magazine just for sustained fire and just a good old round DMR weapon, which the zoom in here doesn't seem to be like all that much. I probably could have chosen a slightly better scope, but yeah, it's almost also Christmas time, so we've dressed in a Christmas mod that's come up. Look, for some reason, every time they release a Christmas apparel mod, it's sexy. We don't get no ugly sweaters here on Fallout 4. Everything has to be sexy, so there you go. Fashion show is now over. Is it too much? I think it's a little bit too much, but you know, we got to get that Christmas cheer in. And if you want me to say happy holidays, it's not happening. Anyways, let's get started. We're going to go over to the sniper one at first and see what we can do. Now, through preliminary testing of this weapon, I've found that there's just a little bit of spread, a little bit of unpredictability about this weapon, which I don't hate. It's not the end of the world like that, and we can tactically lean to kill that turret. There we go. That's our use of that mod today. I don't hate it, but sometimes it could be potentially a little bit frustrating, and now we don't get any of that there sneak criticals, so I think we just knocked that guy down. Okay, good sign for a little bit later on if we can knock people down, but I think the jig is up at this point, and if we're not hitting our targets, we'll go over to our fully automatic version, which gets similar comparable damage. Warfighter Workshop, he likes the damage that I like. And we're chopping through these gunners pretty fast. The weapons feel strong. The recoil is there, but it's not over the top. I kind of like it. The weapon feels good, and if it's their intention to make it feel like it's come directly out of Call of Duty, maybe that's probably the way they've done this, but I think it feels really good to use, you know? I don't have to wrestle with the weapon. There's a little bit of wiggle here and there, but for the most part, it's going to stay on point, which, you know, it feels good. Anyways, time for a naked SCAR, so we can hear this thing loud and proud. It's like they've added a little bit, just a teensy-wincy little bit of the Vertibird gun sound here, but I don't think that's the case. They've still got that. It sounds strong, though. Nothing will be like the ScarH from Battlefield 4, though. Look, I've come close to madness trying to find a mod that perfectly replicates that for Fallout 4, and they just can't get the splices right. But I think this is a step in the right direction, I think. It's getting slightly better every time. So, we've had a pretty cruisy run. We're not as protected as we usually are, but still we're making short work of these gunners, which I can appreciate the hell out of. Let's go over to the Scar L now. Maybe we'll play it easy on them for a little bit, but keep in mind that we are using rounds that are armor penetrating here just to give me a little bit more of an edge against these guys wearing the full combat armor suits and such, and I feel like it's doing well. We've got a little bit of extra rounds here. I'm noticing that the weapon sounds the same on a lighter caliber, which is a little bit of a no-no. I think you'd be able to hear the difference between a 7.62 and a 5.56, but I don't know. If you've shot the weapons before and they sound comparable, then don't quote me on that. You can tell me, you can prove me wrong in the chat. Anyways, let's crit this guy. Hiding behind a ladder, why don't you? Ladder? Not a ladder. That's clearly a tree. Moving on. Let's go and shoot these guys a little bit. Let's switch over to the semi-auto version here. That Gauss rifle actually hit hard just then. I think that was a triple charge version happening, but that means nerd rage for me. We'll try to make some use out of it. Feels like just some generic vanilla game sounds for the slow motion variant. I see you there, buddy. Alright, we're going to do this the hard way, apparently. I'm being shot at from somewhere. Oh, down there. Yeah. Let's just finish you off with a critical. Those, I tell you what, those service rifles, they hit hard. They're like the brand new MG2022s. Like, you see someone with a service rifle, you got to take those guys out first, because they'll get you. Won't they? Right, so this guy doesn't want to come out and play. There we go. A couple of hits through the walls there. Maybe if I shoot him through there. Come on, Fallout 4. That's it. Oh, we've got a caravan guard to help us. Lucky me, what a treat. Anyways, we've also drawn a pack of raiders over there, which I think is, well, that's going to distract them, so I'll be able to come in for a couple of sneak criticals, or rather, get the drop on these guys. Never mind, that's not happening. But a quick little timely level up means I get my health back, so we're charging right in again. And who have we got over here? Generic Rust Devils and Robots. See, the robots, they don't move so fast. They're easy to hit. They don't scramble for cover either, so they can't use the hitboxes against me. Don't know what's going on over there. I'm going to get a little bit of a zoom in. I think that was a ghoul, actually. That's worked pretty well. And now we can door breach. Probably not the weapon to use. Might just switch over to something a little bit more appropriate in a second. Nice. There we go. Perhaps not as appropriate as the suppress version with Ace Operator backing it, but there we go. That's 3 kills in 2 magazines. That's not too bad. And last but not least, there is a Protectron there. So a pretty cruisy run there. I think this weapon stands up to the end game pretty well. Is it overpowered? You could probably make that argument, but, you know, we almost died there. Obviously, protection is not what it normally is, but that's fine. We made it through. And also, this has got the high heal system on it. I had to install that mod to get this to work, and Camille's so much taller. If you stand next to someone and if you take the high heels off, you'll actually shrink down a little bit. I don't know why they put so much effort into shoe mods in this game, but if they put half as much effort into making cool gun mods like Warfighter has, I think what we could have would be so much better. There's a dude called Ice Storm. He's got a Patreon set up. He's got an F2000. He's been working on it for months. I check it every now and then. High heels mod, pumps, sandals, stilettos, anything but F2000s. I just want that F2000. All right. Anyways, we have a very strict dress code, just like Edna from The Incredibles, who says no capes. I say no heels, because if you trip over and break your ankle, then that's you out for a long time. Bad injuries. All right, so here's the plan here. Swan's going to go over there, kill whatever random encounter has spawned near him, and then I'm going to hold him down at range, possibly. I mean, I could get some pretty good damage with this thing as is, but let's switch over to something like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the first time I've spammed the trigger using the semi-auto version. I think it's worth mentioning that you can sort of AN94 this. I feel like the animations and the fire rate are set up just a little bit too quick. There's also a random feral ghoul there. I'm trying to get him knocked down again. I think he's taken out that feral ghoul. There we go. We're in danger now, so I suppose we'll switch over back to this one. Pop a fresh magazine in that. It's not bad. I think we'll finish this off with a little bit of VATS finesse. Hopefully get a cool VATS camera shot. Never mind, we'll just do over the shoulder. Alright, so that was pretty good, but we can do better. Let's not get detected. I think we can make some good work out of this thing using the sniper variant. Okay, so I've grabbed a new scope for the sniper variant. It's not see-through, but it's night vision. It's supposed to, like, highlight heat signatures, but it's just night vision, so whatever. I'm going to clear out these buggeroonies first, and then we'll get onto the main course here. And if he pisses off that Wendigo, I'm going to be annoyed. So we'll try to hit the spinny little bastards. There we go. And now we can deal with the big guy over there. And, yep, that's a good start. It appears to me that the only non-see-through scope is the night vision one, which I don't mind, but typically I don't like using the see-through scopes because the visual recoil is just magnified by, you know, how many times you zoomed in, or, you know, magnification levels, and yeah, all of that is eliminated if you're just aiming through this scope. Yeah, sure, the crosshair will bounce around a little bit, but it's just slightly easier to keep aim of your targets, and I like that better that way, but that's kind of, I guess that's user preference, but yeah, using the non-see-through scopes is what I like to do, and case in point right there, just easy to keep on target, and there's Savage over there just flying. Alright, what else could I do with this thing? We'll go one more monster. Alright, full sort of stealth mission with Navy SEALs. We're gonna go around and sneak kill every single one of these raiders. We're gonna try to do it without being detected. Now, that might be a little bit difficult if they start going up into the top, and I have to run up right close to them to actually get them. But that was a shot that I didn't think would actually make it. Sometimes the hitboxes are good, and some of the time that is not. I don't think I was even hitting close to that one anyway, so that's fine. There's one. The sunglasses gave him away. I spotted that, as well as the movement. Yeah, my vision is based on movement, like a T-Rex, an apex predator. That's probably some sort of paint job for this thing in Call of Duty. They've always got the most generic sounding action names, like Apex Predator, although maybe they stopped doing that after they had Kevin Spacey in one of the Call of Duty games. Yeah, probably. Anyways, there's usually a couple in here, just little babby raiders. There'll probably be one shot anyway if there were gunners, because they're just not that strong, but you know, sometimes it's fun. Do a little bit of cloak and dagger. That there, Mirelurk Queen, was a little bit stronger than I thought. I don't think I picked up any sneak criticals there, but that one over there is nice and aggroed, so we'll try to get as much damage on him as possible. The odd staggers here doing pretty well for me, must say, and you're not crippled, are you? Surely not. Okay, he just gave up there, and why wouldn't he? This is the ultimate power in the universe. The Sky-H done right, I think. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for the TAC 56, or whatever you may call it. It's a generic SCAR, and I would recommend this mod. If you're a big fan of Call of Duty, the new one, and you like this gun in that game, then I'm sure you'll find that this weapon will be perfectly serviceable, usable, and fun to use in Fallout 4. And I do quite like the COD sort of mod porting scene of this game, because, you know, I don't mind turning Fallout 4 into a tactical shooter. You know, that's what mods are about. You change the game over to a different sort of feel, and you can customize it to your liking. Anyways, if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, check out the links in the description. Also, I'll leave a link to this outfit. It's by VTAW. Download it at your own risk. I think it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too hot, but, you know, it's there if you want it. There's no ugly sweater Christmas stuff for you to wear. Like, even the Creation Club made some sort of sexy Santa outfit you could download and use. There's like a Creation Club thing. It came out years ago, but yeah, even the devs are into it, so I guess this is the only way to celebrate Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you very much for watching.